The champagne flute shattered against the polished oak floor of the university's grand ballroom, its sharp crack slicing through the murmur of laughter like a gunshot in a library. "I can't do this anymore," Alex whispered, his voice breaking as he yanked the ring from his finger and hurled it toward the sea of shocked faces, mine included, landing with a tiny, defiant clink at my feet. In that frozen instant, as the music stuttered to a halt and every eye turned to him, our team captain, the golden boy of Stanford's lacrosse squad, looked straight at me, tears carving paths down his cheeks, and mouthed the words I dreamed of hearing for 2 agonizing years. "It's always been you." I stood there, heart hammering like a war drum in my chest, the scent of wilting roses and spilled bubbly thick in the air. The campus engagement event was supposed to be a celebration, couples announcing futures, alumni toasting legacies, the whole ivy-adjacent pomp of Stanford's elite under one glittering chandelier. I'd come alone, nursing a plastic cup of punch in the corner, watching Alex from afar like some pathetic shadow. He was the sun, broad-shouldered, with that effortless grin that could disarm a defense line or a room full of skeptics. We'd been teammates since freshman year, bonded over brutal practices on the sun-baked fields of the peninsula, sharing secrets in the locker room haze of steam and sweat. But secrets have a way of festering, and mine. The crush that bloomed into something fiercer, something that kept me up nights replaying every accidental brush of hands, had stayed buried deep. Now, as the ring glinted mockingly at my sneakers, the crowd's whispers swelled into a tide. "What the hell?" someone muttered from the lacrosse booster table. Sarah, Alex's fiancée or ex, apparently, stood frozen in her emerald gown, her manicured hand hovering where the proposal had just imploded. She'd been the perfect match on paper. Sorority queen, law school bound, the kind of girl who made headlines in the campus paper for her charity galas. They'd been dating since sophomore year, the fairy tale everyone envied. And me? I was just Eli, the quiet midfielder from a nowhere town in Ohio, scraping by on scholarships and sheer grit. Alex stumbled forward, ignoring the gasps, his tux rumpled like he'd fought a ghost in it. "Eli," he said, louder now, voice raw as he reached me. His hand clamped my shoulder, fingers digging in like anchors. "I lied to everyone, to her, to myself. This whole thing, it's been killing me." The room spun, faces blurring into a kaleidoscope of judgment and curiosity. I could feel the heat rising in my neck, the old fear clawing up. The whispers back home, the coach who'd pulled me aside after catching me staring too long, warning me to keep it professional. But Alex's eyes, storm gray and pleading, held me captive. Before I could choke out a response, Sarah's sob cut through. "You bastard," she hissed, storming off toward the exit, her heels echoing like accusations. The dean cleared his throat into the mic, fumbling for control, but it was too late. The event fractured into chaos. Friends rushing to console, phones whipping out for the inevitable social media storm. Alex didn't let go. "We need to talk. Now." He pulled me toward the French doors, out into the cool embrace of the courtyard where magnolias whispered in the breeze. The night air hit like a slap, carrying the distant hum of Palo Alto traffic and the faint salt of the bay. We collapsed onto a stone bench, hidden by ivy-draped arches, the ballroom's glow spilling golden light across us. "I'm sorry," he started, raking hands through his hair. "God, Eli, I've been a coward." His confession tumbled out in fragments. How he'd proposed to Sarah because it was easy, expected, the path to pro leagues, endorsements, a life without questions. But every night, replaying our late-night drives after away games, the way I'd laugh at his dumb jokes or patch him up after a rough hit, it gnawed at him. "You're the one who sees me. Not the captain, not the heir to Dad's firm. Just me." I swallowed hard, the weight of it crashing down. 2 years, Alex. 2 years of watching you build this life with her, pretending I was just your buddy. Do you know what that did? My voice cracked, the dam breaking. I'd buried myself in stats and sprints to forget. Dated a girl from biolab for a month just to prove I could pass. But it was all smoke. I thought I was invisible. He leaned closer, our knees brushing, that electric spark I'd always chalked up to adrenaline. "You were never invisible. You were everything." His hand found mine, tentative, then sure, lacing fingers like it was the most natural thing. In that moment, under the stars pricking the California sky, it felt like absolution. We talked until the event's lights dimmed, voices low and urgent, peeling back layers we'd armored ourselves with. By dawn, as the first joggers hit the paths, we'd kissed, soft, searching, tasting of regret and promise. It was messy, imperfect, but real. The fallout hit like a lacrosse ball to the gut. Monday morning, practice was a minefield. Coach barked drills twice as hard, his eyes lingering on us with that knowing squint. Focus, gentlemen. Distractions lose games. The team fractured, half-ribbing Alex with good-natured jabs. Cap, you went full rom-com on us. The others shooting wary glances, whispers of drama queen, slithering through the huddle. Sarah had lawyered up fast, her Instagram a fortress of empowerment quotes and blocked contacts. The campus rag ran a breathless piece. Lacrosse stars shocking proposal pivot. Love or publicity stunt? Alex and I navigated it like tightrope walkers. Stolen moments in the stacks of green library, where the scent of aged paper muffled our laughter. Walks along the dish, the rolling hills dotted with eucalyptus, where he'd trace patterns on my palm and talk dreams. Quitting the firm for coaching, maybe, building something ours. No more hiding, he'd say, fierce. I believed him. God, I wanted to. But shadows loomed. His father, the silver-haired titan of Silicon Valley venture capital, summoned him home to Atherton that weekend. I paced my dorm, phone silent, imagining the interrogation. When Alex returned Sunday night, he was a ghost. Eyes hollow, shoulders slumped. He knows, he said flatly, collapsing onto my bed. Cut me off. The trust fund, the connections. Gone unless I fix this mess. Fix. The word hung like smoke. His dad had laid it out. Therapy, a real relationship, or watch his future evaporate. He thinks it's a phase. That you're ruining me. Rage boiled up, hot and unfamiliar. And you? What do you think? I grabbed his chin, forcing his gaze. For a heartbeat, doubt flickered, cold, insidious. Then he surged up, kissing me hard, desperate. I think he's wrong. We're right. We clung like that, bodies pressed in the narrow twin bed, not crossing lines but mapping them, learning the shape of this fragile thing we'd claimed. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Practices where our plays synced like poetry. Nights holed up in his off-campus apartment, cooking ramen and debating Foucault for poli-science. We went public in increments, holding hands at the farmer's market, a chaste peck after a win against Cal. The team adapted. Even coach grunted approval one day. Play like you love it, boys. That's how you win. Pride Week loomed, a beacon. Alex signed us up for the Ally March, his speech notes scribbled with us instead of them. But betrayal brews in the quiet hours. It started with a text from an unknown number. A screenshot of Alex's browser history, searches for gay conversion camps, and keeping options open. My stomach dropped. Then calls from mutuals. Heard he's reconciling with Sarah. Family pressure, you know? I confronted him after a film screening in Dinkelspiel, the auditorium emptying around us. Is it true? My voice was steel, but inside, I was shattering. He paled, denial crumbling. Eli, it's not. But the evidence piled. Voicemails from his dad, dinner invites with Sarah for closure. I panicked, he admitted, voice small. The scouts are watching, the draft's in 6 months. If I tank this, it's over. Over. For him. For us? He swore it was reconnaissance, a ploy to buy time. But the seed was planted, doubt's thorn twisting deep. I walked out, the auditorium doors slamming like finality. The high came crashing at the season opener against UCLA. We dominated, Alex's shots laser-precise, my assists feeding his fire. Post-game, in the roar of the locker room, he pulled me aside. Marry me, not like that night, for real. After graduation, when the world's ours. His ring, simple silver, engraved with our numbers, slipped onto my finger, cool and certain. The team hooped when we emerged, arms linked, turning shock to solidarity. But climax demands descent. Pride Week arrived in a blaze of rainbows and resolve. We marched, signs high. Love wins, no compromise. Alex spoke, voice steady. Hiding isn't living. This Eli us. It's my truth. The crowd thundered. But in the throng, I spotted Sarah, her eyes red-rimmed, flanked by his parents. That night, at the after-party in the quad, his phone buzzed incessantly. He silenced it, but I saw the preview. Son, we're here. Talk. He vanished into the shadows with them, minutes stretching to hours. When he returned, dawn painting the sky rose, his face was a ruin. They're pulling everything. Apartment, car, the draft nod, contingent on straightening up. His laugh was bitter. Sarah's willing to try again. For the optics. Betrayal landed like a blindside hit, stealing breath. And you, I whispered. I said no. He stepped close, hands framing my face. But it hurts, Eli. This life's rigged against us. We fought then, words like lobs, accusations flying. You're choosing fear over us. I yelled. No, he shot back. I'm choosing survival. For both of us. He stormed off, leaving me amid the confetti-strewn grass, the ring burning my skin. Days bled into silence. Practice became warfare. Passes fumbled, eyes averted. The team splintered, loyalties torn. Coach benched us both for the USC game, muttering about personal fouls. I drowned in it. Nights scrolling old photos, the ache a constant companion. Then the call. Alex's dad, voice like gravel. He's checking into a program tomorrow. Family decision. Stay away, son. For his sake. I drove to Atherton that night, tires screeching up the manicured drive. The mansion loomed, all glass and indifference. Alex met me at the gate, duffel in hand, eyes haunted. Don't make this harder. But I couldn't stop. Fight, damn it. For us. He broke then, collapsing against me, sobs racking his frame. I want to. God, I do. But they own me. We stood there as security lights flickered on. Two boys against an empire. Run with me, I begged. Start over. Community college, wait tables, anything. For an eternal second, hope flickered. Then his shoulders sagged. I can't. Not yet. He pressed a letter into my palm. Pages of apologies, dreams deferred. Wait for me? Please. I drove back as the sun rose, the bay a silver ribbon. Weeks turned to months. The draft came and went. Alex vanished from feeds, whispers of rehab and focus. I finished the semester in a fog, acing exams on autopilot, the ring a talisman against despair. Graduation dawned crisp, caps sailing like blackbirds. I scanned the crowd, no Alex. But as diplomas echoed, a figure pushed through, him leaner, eyes clear, in a faded team hoodie. I told them to go to hell, he said, voice steady. Sold the watch, bought a bus ticket. I'm free. No fanfare, just us. Kissing in the chaos, the world blurring to cheers. We didn't ride off into sunsets. Life's messier. Shared studios in Oakland, gigs coaching youth leagues, arguments over bills and boundaries. But in the quiet, when doubts creep, we remember that night. The shatter, the choice, the surprise that saved us. Love isn't an event. It's the daily scrimmage, the pass that lands true. And ours? Is winning one heartfelt foul at a time. The summer after graduation stretched like a lazy infinity. But for Alex and me, it was a gauntlet wrapped in golden haze. We'd crashed in a shoebox apartment above a taqueria in Oakland's Temescal district. The kind of place where the walls thrummed with salsa rhythms at midnight and the air smelled perpetually of cumin and exhaust. Rent was split down the middle from my barista gig and his freelance graphic design hustles. Flyers for local bands, nothing glamorous. But it was ours, carved from the wreckage of privilege and pretense, and every creak of the floorboards felt like victory. Mornings started with coffee black as our resolve, brewed on a hot plate that doubled as a truce table. You snored like a freight train last night, I tease, sliding a mug his way, watching his sleep-rumpled grin chase away the ghosts. He'd retaliate with a pillow to the gut, tumbling us into sheets that smelled of salt skin and second chances. We weren't naive. The world hadn't rewritten its rules overnight. But in those stolen hours, before the grind pulled us apart, we built something unbreakable, conversations that meandered from quantum physics podcasts to the ache of coming-out stories swapped over bodega sandwiches. Oakland embraced us with its gritty pulse. We joined a rec league at Mosswood Park, lobbing softballs under ancient oaks where drag queens picnicked nearby. Alex's arm was still a cannon, but now it served upsets against beer league dads, not scouts. "Feels better this way," he'd say, sweat slicked and beaming after a double play. I'd nod, throat tight, remembering the boy who'd once chased glory like a drug. Freedom suited him. Tattoos creeping up his forearms, a buzz cut that made his jawline sharp as resolve. But scars don't fade easy. His parents' silence was a low hum, broken once by a certified letter. Disinheritance papers, cold legalese severing ties. Alex burned it in a metal bowl on our fire escape, flames dancing in his eyes. Let 'em keep their empire. I've got mine. Me. Still, nightmares jerked him awake some nights, whispering of boardrooms and betrayals. I'd hold him then, murmuring nonsense about constellations visible from our roof. Orion's belt, a hunter turned guardian. Fall brought grad school for me, UC Berkeley's education program, chasing a dream of teaching history to kids who felt like outsiders. Alex tagged along to orientations, sketching caricatures of pompous profs in the margins of my notes. "You'll change the world, teach," he'd say, pride swelling his chest. But Berkeley's ivory towers echoed Stanford's undercurrents. Sidelong glances in seminars, a TA who cornered me after class. "Heard about your situation. Careful. Tenure's a bitch for complications." I brushed it off, but it festered. One crisp October evening, after a panel on queer pedagogy, I found Alex at a dimly lit bar in the Temescal Alley, nursing a IPA with our old teammate, Marcus. Laughter spilled out as I approached. "Easy. Familiar." Marcus clapped my back. "Eli, Cap here's been regaling me with your domestic bliss. Burnt toast and all." Alex's eyes lit up, but there was a tightness, a shadow. Later, tangled in bed, I pressed. "What's eating you?" He sighed, tracing my collarbone. "Marcus mentioned Sarah. She's engaged for real this time. To some venture bro." The name hung, a specter. "Doesn't matter," he insisted, but his voice wavered. I pulled him closer, hearts sinking in the dark. "It does if it hurts." Confession came halting. The what-ifs, the alternate life where he'd played the part, sailed into sunsets of stability. "I don't regret us, but sometimes, I wonder if I stole your shot too." "Bullshit," I growled, flipping him beneath me. "Not for heat, but anchor. You gave me everything." We made love to words then, slow and affirming, bodies a language of forgiveness. Dawn found us spent, plotting futures. A road trip down Highway 1, maybe, cliffs and crashing waves as witnesses. But conflict doesn't RSVP. Thanksgiving loomed, a minefield of family. Mine flew out from Ohio, Mom with her apple pie dogma, Dad's quiet toolshed wisdom. They knew about Alex. The ring on my finger was announcement enough. Dinner at our place was a tightrope. Mom's probing smiles over turkey. Dad's gruff, "Treat him right, son," to Alex. It went smooth, too smooth, until the call came. Alex's phone, screen lighting his face pale. "It's Dad. Heart attack." The hospital in Atherton was a sterile cathedral, beeps and bleach assaulting senses. His father lay frail in ICU, tubes snaking like accusations. Mom hovered, eyes red but steely. "Alexander," she said, spotting us hand in hand. "No warmth, just appraisal. This is how you repay us?" Alex stiffened, but squeezed my hand. "This is who I am, Mom." Vigil stretched days. Vending machine coffee, whispered histories from nurses. In stolen moments by the vending machines, Alex unraveled. He built walls around love, taught me to do the same. "What if I'm him?" I cupped his face. "You're not. You're the guy who shattered a glass for truth." His dad rallied enough for a bedside parley. Gruff admissions, a halting, "I was wrong, son." No fairy tale mending, but a crack in the armor, enough for tentative emails post-discharge. Winter wrapped us in fog, but Berkeley's campus sparked with possibility. I TA'd a freshman seminar, weaving in stories of Stonewall and ACT UP, watching eyes widen. Alex landed a gig designing for a queer nonprofit. Posters of intertwined fists and hearts, bold colors screaming visibility. We hosted game nights, our apartment a haven for misfits. Trans baristas, by engineers, the whole mosaic. Yet betrayal's echo lingered. Valentine's hit like a sucker punch. I'd planned simple. Picnic at Lake Merritt, swans gliding indifferent. But Alex was late, face ashen. Sarah showed up at the office. My blood iced. She'd cornered him at a client meet. Congrats on the engagement. Veiled barbs about finding peace. Then the bomb. She knows about the draft clause. Pulled strings to leak it. Scouts think I'm unstable. Rage and hurt collided. And you didn't tell me? He recoiled. I handled it. Handled. Like I was fragile. The picnic devolved into shouts by the water's edge. Swans scattering. You still protect her ghost over us. I accused. No. I'm protecting you from their poison. He yelled back. We parted storming. Me to a friend's couch, him to the empty apartment. Reconciliation came raw. A midnight voicemail, his voice cracking. I need you. Not as savior, as partner. I found him on our fire escape, knees to chest. I'm sorry. We chorused, collapsing into hugs. No more half-truths. We vowed. Sealing with ink. Tattoos mirroring his. Shatter on my wrist, truth on his. Spring bloomed defiant. We road-tripped Big Sur. Tent pitched on bluffs where Pacific roared approval. Nights by campfire, stories flowed. My Ohio closeted teen years, his Atherton gilded cage. We're rewriting the script, he'd say. Stars are confetti. Back home, climax brewed at the nonprofit's gala. Alex's design center stage. The room buzzed. Donors in tuxes, activists in pride pins. Midway through toasts, the doors swung. His parents, arm in arm with Sarah and her fiancé. Gasps rippled. Alex froze mid-sip, glass trembling. What are you? His dad stepped forward, voice gravel-soft. We came to see what you've built. No apologies, but eyes on our linked hands, lingering. Sarah offered a tight smile. Congratulations. Both of you. Awkward handshakes followed. A truce in tailored suits. As they left, his mom whispered to Alex. He's proud. In his way. Not absolution, but bridge. That night, champagne real this time. No shatters, we danced slow in our kitchen. Radio crooning Springsteen. Surprised everyone again. I murmured. He laughed, low and true. Best action yet. Summer's second act found us bolder. Roots digging deeper into Oakland's soil. I'd landed a teaching fellowship at a title, the first high school in East Oakland. Kids with stories etched in gang tags and absent chairs. Eyes hungry for maps beyond freeways. Alex's design side hustle bloomed into a small studio. Shatter Truth Graphics. Cranking out zines for grassroots orgs. Our apartment evolved. Mismatched shelves groaning with queer lit. Baldwin's Fire, Vong's Ache. And a corkboard pinned with Polaroids. Us mid-laugh at pride floats. Arms slung, casual defiant. But growth invites storms. My first parent-teacher night was a battlefield. Moms in faded scrubs demanding real skills. Dads eyeing my ring with suspicion. One father lingered, voice low. Heard you're one of them. Keep it out the classroom. Yeah. The words landed like gravel, stirring old Ohio ghosts. Prom nights dodging slurs. Dad's Bible-thump sermons softened only by his quiet hugs. I reported it. Admin nodded sympathetically. But the chill seeped. Home. I vented to Alex over takeout pho. Steam curling like unanswered prayers. It's everywhere, I said, defeated. He pulled me onto the couch. Legs tangled. Then we fight smarter. Your voice, that's the weapon. He was right. I wove in lessons on Harvey Milk, debates on marriage equality, framing history as mirror not monument. Kids leaned in. Jamal with his notebook sketches of rainbow flags. Sophia whispering about her two moms. Progress inch by inch. Alex joined for a guest spot, demoing protest art, silkscreens of fists blooming flowers. Art's rebellion, he told them. Eyes on me across the room, electric. Fall semester ramped tensions. A district email circulated. Neutrality in sensitive topics. Code for muzzle. My principal pulled me aside post-conference. Great work, Eli, but tread light. Bored breathing down necks. I nodded, but seethed. Knights, Alex and I strategized over chess. His knight forking my king, metaphors for maneuvering systems. You're not alone, he'd remind. Knight to F3. One game, mid-check, his phone lit. Marcus, inviting us to a Stanford alumni mixer. Neutral ground, Marcus texted. Bridge some gaps. We debated it like a UN summit. Your folks might show, I cautioned. Alex's jaw set. Time to own the room. The event was at the faculty club. Varnished wood, clinking glasses, ghosts of old glories. We arrived suited casual, hands linked till the doors. Inside, waves crashed. Backslaps for Alex, curious stares for me. The infamous engagement crasher, a booster joked, clapping my shoulder too hard. Then the nucleus. His parents at a corner table, Sarah absent but her shadow long. Dad rose, extending a hand, firmer than the hospital grip. Good to see you thriving, son. Mom's smile was tentative, appraising our ease. Small talk flowed awkward. Weather, wine. Then Dad leaned in. Heard about the business. Impressive. Alex stiffened. It's ours, Dad. Not yours. Silence stretched. Then Dad nodded. Fair. Invite us sometime to see it. A concession. Olive branch bent but not broken. Relief buzzed post-event. Beers at a dive near campus. That wasn't so bad. Alex exhaled. I clinked bottles. Progress. But doubt nipped. Was it genuine or strategy? Whispers from alumni hinted at Dad's reconsideration. Funds thawing if Alex stabilized. The seed sprouted unease. Winter holidays split us. Me to Ohio for Mom's lutefisk lament. Him to Atherton for performative peace. Phone calls bridged. His voice muffled by forced cheer, mine laced with family microaggressions. When's the wedding, dear? A nice girl. New Year's. We reconvened at SFO. Kissing amid harried travelers. Resolutions whispered. More us, less them. Spring brought bloom and blight. My classroom became sanctuary. Poetry slams on identity. Essays on hidden figures in history. A student, Diego, came out in a paper. Your stories made me brave. Tears pricked. Impact. Tangible. Alex's studio hit stride. A mural commission for the Fruitvale BART station. Fists and hearts in aerosol defiance. We celebrated with rooftop paella. City lights are confetti. But betrayal's fork waited. Late April, an envelope arrived, no stamp. Hand-delivered. Inside photos. Us at the lake, mid-kiss. Alex at a bar with a faceless guy, arms slung casual. Grainy, time-stamped months back. Prius but damning. A note. Protect your future, or lose it. Sarah's script, venom cursive. Alex crumpled it, face ashen. She's escalating. Panic clawed. Who else saw? His dad? Scouts lingering? I paced our living room. Fern shadows dancing frantic. We go public. Blast it. He shook head. That feeds her narrative. Unstable drama. Argument ignited. My fire for exposure. His ice for containment. You're ashamed, I accused. No, scared for you, he roared. Doors slammed. I crashed at a colleague's, heart a bruise. Dawn mediation. Coffee at Farley's. Fog rolling off the bay. I overreacted. We admitted in tandem. The photos? A bluff from her jilted circle. Traced to an ex-roommate. We lawyered up. Pro bono from a queer legal aid, cease and desist firing back. Sarah's response. Radio silence. Then a deleted Insta post. Moving on. Truly. Climax crested at the school's equity fair. Booths of flags and flyers. Kids manning info tables. I'd volunteered. Alex demoing art. Midway. A heckler crashed. Burly dad type. Sign scrawled. Protect kids from agenda. Booze rippled. Security hovered. He zeroed on me. Your kind corrupts. Alex stepped forward, voice steel. Our kind teaches love. Back off. Standoff stretched. Crowd swelling. Supporters chanting equality. The man faltered, slinking away as cops arrived. Aftermath, viral clip, local news pickup. My principal called. Proud of you, Eli. District's got your back. But ripples hit. Parent petitions, board murmurs. Alex's dad rang rare, terse. Saw the news. Strong stand. Need anything? A thaw real this time. Summer solstice, we escaped to Yosemite. Granite monoliths, waterfalls, thundering absolution. Hiking Half Dome. Sweat stung and breathless. We paused at the summit, valley sprawling infinite. This is us, Alex said, wind whipping. Climbing, not falling. I kissed him, salt and sun, vowing silent. No more fractures. Back in the grind, we mentored. Alex coaching a queer youth sports camp, me tutoring after-school histories. Holidays healed incremental. Ohio moms sending rainbow cookies. Atherton dinners with less frost. Betrayal's scar faded to lesson. Trust forged in fire. One evening, fire escape perch. City hum below. Alex turned.
Propose again?
Proper. Ring out, gold now, etched always. I laughed. Tears hot. Yes, shatter me forever. Autumn's third will spun us into maturity's grind. Leaves carpeting Oakland streets in amber warnings. My fellowship morphed into tenure-track whispers. Classroom a forge where teens hammered identities from raw or. Alex's studio expanded. Interns in beanies, walls papered in client briefs. Our life, once frantic patchwork, settled into quilted rhythm. Farmers market Sundays, elbows bumping at stalls. Trivia nights at the pub. Our team shattered truths, reigning trivia kings. Yet comfort courts complacency. A gallery invite landed. Alex's murals, Fruitvale series, spotlighted in SF's queer art walk. Big league, I whistled, pinning the invite to our fridge amid grocery magnets. Opening night shimmered. Velvet ropes, flutes bubbling, collectors in avant-garde specs. Alex mingled magnetic, me his anchor in chinos and button-down. Toasts rang. To visibility. His dad even came solo, suit crisp but smile genuine. Beautiful work, son. Evocative. Post-glow, we crashed to after-party in the Castro. Neon signs winking approval. That's when the old guard surfaced. Stanford booster, tipsy and tactless. Alex still playing house? Dad mentioned opportunities if you pivot. Pivot. The word slithered. Venom revisited. Alex's jaw clenched. I squeezed his hand under the bar. Water under, he muttered later, but sleep evaded, his tosses sinking my worries. Winter deepened divides. School board elections loomed. Conservative slate railing, parental rights code for erasure. My curriculum hit crosshairs. Petitions demanding balanced views on LGBTQ plus history. Protests brewed. Counter rallies at City Hall. Signs clashing like crossed sticks. I spoke at one, voice amplified shaky. History isn't optional. It's our story. Cheers drowned doubts, but threats trickled. An email. Watch your back, groomer. Alex installed locks, deadbolts clicking like sentinels. He countered with action. A zine series, echoes unerased. Distributing at rallies, comics of Milk's Fall, Baldwin's Fire. We co-authored an op-ed for the Cron. Teaching truth in turbulent times. Responses flooded. Support from allies, vitriol from trolls. One night, post-threat spike, Alex paced. This is war. I pulled him down. Our war. Together. Holidays offered armistice. Ohio. Mom's tree trimmed with pride ornaments she'd bought, just in case. Dad's garage workshop now hosting story time with old photo albums. My awkward teen phase, softened by hindsight hugs. Atherton. Full family, Sarah's absence a polite void. Dinner discourse danced. Politics skirted. Futures probed. Dad pulled Alex aside post-meal. Investing in your venture. Small stake, no strings. Alex emerged dazed. He said, build what matters. New Year dawned collaborative. Joint workshop at a community center. Blending my lessons with his art, teens crafting timelines of self. Laughter echoed. crayons flying. One kid, non-binary Alex clone in miniature, hugged us. You make it okay. Impact doubled. Spring surged with sabotage. Anonymous leak. District files twisted, painting my classes as indoctrination. Board hearing scheduled, public spectacle. Nerves frayed. Sleep shattered by what-ifs. Alex rallied troops. Petition drives, alumni letters. We're the surprise now, he declared, drafting my statement. Fierce, unapologetic. Hearing day. Chamber packed. Air thick as courtroom drama. Opponents testified. Protect innocence. Allies countered. Parent testimonials, student voices. My turn. Steady story spun. I teach resilience. Because the world isn't kind, but it can be. Silence, then applause. Verdict. Cleared. With guidelines review. Victory. Pyrrhic but potent. Aftermath. Media whirl. Podcast invites. We decompressed in Muir Woods. Redwoods towering ancient. You were a lion, Alex said, hand in mine. I leaned in. We both were. Summer simmered tensions low. Road trip east. Badlands to Berkshires, tent stakes and tales. Stops at queer landmarks, Stonewall Stoop, Pulse Memorials, pilgrimages grounding. Back west, wedding whispers grew. Small, intentional. Venue scout. Berkeley Hills barn, oaks framing vows. But climax coiled in complacency's shadow. Fall tenure review loomed. Alex's gallery show follow-up beckoned NYC. Distance tested, weeks apart, texts tethering. His call from Chelsea. Scouts approached. Pro league feelers. Coaching gig, if I network right. Network. Subtext. Closets optional? Jealousy spiked, irrational. And, I pressed, voice tinny over line. Tempted. He laughed, but edged. For us, stability. But who's us? Minefields remind. Reunion at San Francisco Airport. Airport embrace fierce, but undercurrent hummed. Home, over dinner, his paella, my critique, we unearthed. Fear it's pulling you back, I admitted. He nodded, fork paused. Old habits. But you're my north. Vulnerability valve opened. Talks till 3 a.m. Mapping boundaries. Career yes, compromise no. Winter's gift. Proposal redux. Holiday party at the center, kids caroling off-key. Amid twinkles, Alex knelt, ring gleaming. Eli, shatter my world daily? Laughter, tears, yes. Cheers erupted, tiny witnesses. Betrayal's final feint. Leak redux, twisted tenure docs, outing personal details. Troll storm, slurs in inboxes. We lawyered again, but hurt lingered. Climax. Press conference, joint. Alex at podium. Love isn't leverage. It's light. Questions flew. We fielded united. Hands clasped visible. Resolution rippled. Board apology. Donations surged for the center. His dad wired more, no pivot required. Proud. The note read. Spring wedding. Barn ablaze in lanterns, 50 souls. Ohio kin, Oakland chosen. Vows. In surprise and shatter, I choose you. Dance floor hours, slow under stars. Life post. Tenure granted. Studio annex space. Kids grow, art evolves, love deepens, human, flawed, enduring. Years folded like well-worn jerseys. Each crease a chapter claimed. 5 post-vow, Oakland our hearth. Apartment traded for a fixer-upper in the hills. Gingerbread Victorian with bay views and ghosts of its own. My classroom tenure solidified. I chaired the equity committee, curriculum a beacon for districts statewide. Alex's Shatter Truth scaled. Satellite studios in LA, collaborations with national orgs. We parented peripherally, mentoring a runaway teen into art school, fostering pups from the shelter. Life, not linear triumph, but mosaic of men's. Anniversaries marked milestones. First, Cliffside vow renewal, waves crashing chorus. Second, Ohio farm wedding redo. Mom's quilt altar. Dad's I do toast. Third, Atherton détente. Full family table. Dad's venture nod to our non-profit arm. Sarah faded to footnote. Her wedding invite declined polite. Her life's parallel track. Conflicts came gentler now. My book deal pulling late nights, his travel straining seams. Arguments over airtime. You're vanishing again. Resolved in dawn runs. Breath sinking. Betrayals? Echoes only. A student's parent flare-up? Quashed by community. An old teammate's drunk text regret? Met with grace. Climax revisited in quiet crisis. Alex's dad passed sudden. Aneurysm. Boardroom mid-pitch. Funeral stark. Suits and eulogies. Mom's hand in ours. Widow's veil of what-ifs. Alex eulogized. He taught ambition. We taught heart. Post-burial will reading. Bequests balanced. Foundation seed for queer youth. Strings cut. He saw late. Alex whispered. Gravestone fresh. We mourned driving Pacific coast, windows down. Grief airing out. Healing bloomed in advocacy. Alex keynoting at national conferences. Me penning shattered silences. Memoir weaving our surprise into syllabus. Book tour tandem. Packed houses. Q&A as raw. One night. Chicago theater. A teen approached. Your story? Mine. Handshake electric. Legacy live. Summer sabbatical. Cross-country amble. RV rumbling Route 66. Stops at Heartland Havens. Kansas Queer Center. Texas pride under thundershowers. Stories swapped with strangers. Came out at 50. A rancher shares. Shattered my ring at 22. Alex counters. Bonds instant human web. Fall homecoming, school assembly. Our tale guest spoken. Kids rapped. Questions tumbling. Was it scary? Terrifying. I admit. But worth every crack. Alex adds. Surprise isn't the event. It's the choice after. Winter whispers future. Adoption talks. Names brainstormed over cocoa. Conflicts. Inevitable bureaucracy's bias. Societal side-eyes. But toolkit fuller. Lawyers on speed dial. Allies legion. One eve, porch swing creaking. Bay fog rolling gentle. Alex turns. 10 years from that shatter? I tally. Rings exchanged twice. Scars silvered. Love layered deep. Best plot twist. Humanism's end. No tidy bow but tapestry rich. We surprise still, not crowds but each other. In daily graces, coffee runs, argument truces, quiet holds. Love proves. Not absence of storm, but dance in rain. And ours? Eternal scrimmage, victory in the play. Epilogue flicker. Decade hence, gray threading temples, kiddos' laughter echoing halls. Adopted at 7, now teen artist. Family photo. Us framed, rings glint, surprise eternal. Tell the story again, they beg. We do, voices twined. It started with a crash.